Yeah, they were supposed to be dumping, trying to get rid of some of the evidence by dumping gold in the ocean. So I don't know if they did that or not, but that was one of the reports that I came across.
I'm wondering what would be the point if you dump it. If you know where you dumped it, you go back and get it later on when all the stuff is blows over, right?
Yeah.
And then you knock down a building a couple of blocks away and make sure it was probably holding records of stuff that you took out.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a
John Jr. was telling us everything in George magazine. We didn't know what he was talking about because he was talking in code.
who was now?
John Jr.
Oh, he talked about it in George.
He got the whole magazine is coded from cover to cover.
Mm.
He named it George because he was after George Bush.
George Bush. That's why. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the CIA the ones told him that who killed his daddy. They figured because he was a clean cut pale face that he wasn't going. They keep forgetting they Irish, and Irish is just light skinned Negroes.
Well, now there's a man that and of course Dr. Key has had him on her show. I think she has, at least she's talked to him, that says that he is the real JFK, and talks a lot about a lot of different things, including Mr. Trump not being the
I know what you're talking about, but I never listened to him. I don't know. He said that he was switched with the son Aristotle Onassis when Jackie took up with him.
That's not what he says in the book. He says that one of Aristotle Onassis' son was actually murdered in his presence, but he I don't know where the boy allegedly came from that he claims, but that wasn't the real John. But he said the reason why they called him John because he was the original one. But he said he was related to Trump. And he also says that Trump was killed in a helicopter crash, with two executives on the New Jersey Turnpike. And that he actually was taken by his handler to saw his body, because apparently Trump was a helicopter pilot also. I don't know if Trump still knows how to fly.
Well, I know they got more than one Trump.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking those more than one has to do more with protection, but we're talking about way back whenever that crash was, that he was on that. He was piloting the plane that he had perhaps had upset some people, like in the mob or something, and they kind of put something on the plane. The helicopter that took it down.
If they got 3 Trumps right now, that means they used to have 4.
Okay. I get it.
And it ain't no guarantee that the one that he seen dead was the real Trump.
That's true. But he does talk about it in the book. Yeah.
I never read the book, so I don't know.
He even mentioned a little boy that was there at the same time he was. He said one day I'm going to be star. He said the boy was Denzel Washington, and he has a picture in there of them at this event. And so I was like, oh, but it almost seems like if that was true, it would almost put Denzel more into one of those MK Ultra type situations, having been groomed. But I don't know. But he says it in the book.
I'm not familiar enough with his background and story to really comment on it. I know who you're talking about. I know some of his story, but like I never read his book. I never talked to him. I don't know none of the details, but I have came across him on Dr. Key's show a couple of times, but I didn't listen to the whole, broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let me make sure I want to put this up. Listen, for those of you who love to support Chief. I know we've been usually put his Cash App up, but just like us, his Cash App has been sabotaged. Something about we don't know what's up with Cash App, but seems like when we do what we do, we get targeted by them and they shut us down. So Chief has PayPal. I want you to take note of this, please. It's at SikApe01 and it's PayPal. We need to show our love to this man who studies and takes in all this information and takes all these hours to sit. I mean, he did an interview the other day. I think it was 4 hours. I was like, okay, you know, he just like, so I want to make sure that I put that up so that we can literally show him how much we care. But yeah, they took our Cash App too, like almost a year ago. And I tell you, if you're waiting for them to respond by email, stop waiting, because they don't.
I'm waiting in the same way I'm waiting for anything else. If it happened, it happened.
They won't.
I don't believe nothing that anybody in this system tell me till they show me.
All right. Well, they showed us a year later. I'm still waiting for an explanation as to why they shut our Cash App down. So what did I do that was illegal? Not unless it has something to do with what we say on the show. I definitely did nothing illegal with them. So, you know, we do want to make sure.
Yeah, they've been blocking me almost 2 weeks. Cash App.
And that, yeah,
The only reason.
Yeah, somebody sent 100 notes to me after House of Real Recognize. I could think the other day. I can't even remember the sister's name, but the sister, you know who you are. It's going to come back to you because we don't have Cash App. And they just hold it and then they send it back to you. I hope they send it back because it doesn't come to us. We don't get anything. So when it comes to that, we do have PayPal and Zelle, but yeah, just make sure that you don't use Chief's Cash App anymore. And I think I have the Cash App in the description, so don't pay attention to the Cash App in the description. We're now PayPal. Yeah. So, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to hold you and make you do like 4 hours. I don't. Oh, you know what? I don't have a flyer for it, y'all. But on Friday, because I've been waiting for Grand Sheik to give me the title for Friday. But we will be on Friday, Grand Sheik and I, and this Friday coming up at 7:30 Eastern. So, and I'm looking forward to when we introduce that new song, Chief.
Oh, yeah.
I think they'll like it. I think they'll like it. I like it. I got it on heavy rotation in my little playlist and so forth. They'll be singing it, I think. The ones that can. But yeah, we're gonna
I was like,
huh?
I couldn't even believe who you told me was singing.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not gonna tell them, but it's catchy, isn't it?
As they used to say back in the 50s and 60s, it's groovy, baby, groovy.
It is absolutely. Shout out to brother Rod's Bristol Bay. He's the bomb, as they say, he's the bomb.com when it comes to that. So when folks hear this they hear the new song, they're gonna like, oh wow, you know, you can. But I'm waiting because we're try to do a video intro with it, so it'll be our new intro. But you know, Sister Cynthia said, you know, make it short. I don't want to make it short. We'll play the whole thing. I just like the whole thing, you know. But it's good. It's good. I'm excited. And I know they love to hear my spiritual daughter sing. But she did that song 10 years ago. It was 2015. She sang it on the phone, and we just put it up just like it was off the you know, like the phone recording. But this is a major upgrade as far as just, you know, having, you know, I'm not going to retire her song altogether, but I think they'll like the new one. You liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Grand Sheik is going to be on. I just don't have a thing to put up to tell you because he didn't tell me what he wanted us to talk about, but he told me he would tell me. So sometime between now and Friday, I will know, but we'll be on to talk about something. You know, and he might even be here. So he's talking about maybe coming to Delaware. So He might even be sitting beside me like old times. He said he misses me. Chief, before we go, is there anything else you wanna tell us? Because I've been kind of running things and directing things, but tell us something that you didn't get to say that you want to say. Take out however long you want.
I don't have a lot left. Just pay attention to the solar flares and the Schumann resonance because that's where the genetic upgrades is coming from. And you be feeling funny, go check it because it might be related to you being upgraded.
I've been feeling funny lately, so what's that mean?
Look up the Schumann resonance and the solar flares. They going at it. They having a whole conversation.
So we shouldn't be avoiding them, right or no?
No, look, the universe speaking frequency. They don't use English.
Mhm.
And the frequency is measurable by man-made instruments. So you can actually see what the sun is doing and what the earth is doing in response. They're having a whole two-way dialogue.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel a little different, you know what I mean? And I've been trying to figure out why I feel different, you know what I mean? Why I'm feeling certain feelings of, and maybe that's something to do with that. I don't know.
Well, I know the women gonna get the most upgrades faster than anybody else because they control mitochondria, and that's where the genetic upgrades is coming through the frequency that comes through the mitochondria.
So the solar flares, are we seeing them or just feeling them? I mean, are we literally gonna see things shoot flat in the sky, or is it just energy that
The Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights and the Southern Lights
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to be seen in places where they're not normally seen because of the frequencies coming in. It's giving like a ripple effect, a rolling aura response. So you be able, they've been reporting it and filming it too. Some people been on social media filming
a wannabe controlling dictatorship type of energy amongst our own people. So for those who might not have the personal self-confidence or the access to teachers that have the wisdom, like brothers like you or a lot of the other master teachers that have been on here, what would you tell them in regards to tapping into that next level of energy, or even like trying to open up their mind? Let's talk about the mind to like access brain levels like Lucy.
Learn self-talk. If you don't do nothing else, the art and science of self-talk, you can navigate your own self to whatever you want to do. You got to learn. You got to remember, Michael Jordan wasn't the greatest of all time in basketball when he was 13. He didn't know how to play basketball. He had to learn how to play basketball, but his passion at the time was baseball. But instead of pursuing baseball, he settled on basketball and became the GOAT. So this telling you that because you don't know how to do something, don't mean the potential to learn is not present with you, right? Malachi got a book called Your Potential, right? And it's talking about you can do whatever you train yourself to do. You got to be willing to practice. You have to have a desire to want to learn something in order for you to apply yourself. You're not going to learn something you ain't got no interest in. I don't care who try to force it down your throat. You're not going to learn it. You're going to try to ignore it. But if you're interested in, you're going to focus, you're going to concentrate, and you're going to pay attention. Focus, concentration, and attention means active downloading of the methodology of the thing you didn't know that you're interested in knowing. And you got to remember, when you first learn something, cognitive dissonance is there, but if you wait a little while, it'll settle and you'll understand it better. Don't try to understand everything as soon as you hear it or see it. Sometimes you just got to sit with the information because your subconscious mind have a unique ability to make stuff connect for you. We call that planting a seed. And all you have to do, plant your own seed. And whatever it is you want to learn, you can learn it. It ain't nothing. You could be 50 years old and still go to school and learn how to be a brain surgeon. It ain't no time limit on learning. The only thing that's a limit on learning is the ambition to learn. That's the only limit. And you can do way more than you know, but you've been told you can't do shit because you didn't come from shit. So all you can be is a piece of shit because you practicing being shit, the waste product of the intestines. And as long as you practicing being a waste product, you're going to be a product of waste.
Oh man, I love it. Oh man. Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna take a breath and just really try to figure this out. All right. So now I want to figure out. All right. I'm gonna give thanks to the ancestors, man, because without them, none of this is happening. Because this is like the second one of them one shows in less than a week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I already knew this one was gonna be one of them ones too. But
Hey, look, Yin Yang Princess say rise above emotions.
yeah,
Learn to read your emotion instead of reacting to your emotion.
yeah,
Learn to read your emotion, but you first have to calibrate emotionally by determining if your emotions is in proper context to the circumstances and situation that elicits the emotion. If it's an out of context emotion, that means you have a thinking error in relation to the subject matter. Learn to read your emotions and you won't have to rise above them. You can use them as a navigation system for your Earth rover. That's what the purpose of it is.
That's real deep. Because I was just talking to the Young Kings like a week or two ago about that topic with emotions and energy and motion and how, you know what I'm saying, to like be able to tap into like that inner self, that first eye, third eye, mind's eye, Ori, whatever you want to call it, being able to tap into that neo-ness in this matrix, being the one, being able, and let's go back to the mother. Shout out to Sophia Stewart, the author of the book, The Third Eye, which led to the Matrix and to the Terminator. They all that, right? That came back to Big Mama. What we talking about? All those movies that we saw, Matrix, Terminator, and a bunch of other movies, all came from the vision of the matriarch, the mother, Sophia
There's
Stewart.
2 movies we always leave out that's inspired by them series.
Which 2?
I, Robot. That's the middle. That's the rise of the machines. I, Robot. When the machines started doing its own thing. And it's another one called AI. It's about a little boy. He'll never grow up because he's artificial intelligence. He's a robot, he's an android. But those were inspired by the Terminator and the Matrix.
Yes, sir. That's deep. Which came from the mother, the feminine energy. Okay, so let me ask you this. In regards to Doc, shout out to Doc, Freedom Master Teacher, Dr. York. What was the significance of him building Tamarie in Georgia? And for those who don't know what Tamarie is, can you kind of share with the tribe like what Tamarie was and where it was built and why?
So the words Tamarie is short for Tamiri and Ray, which is Ra. Tamiri is the great mother and Ra is the great father. It's the Kemetic representation of the hierarchy of the family structure. The story that we know as the holy drama, Osiris versus Set, the slaying of Osiris, the Isis birthing Heru to redeem the father, and redeem the throne from his wicked uncle. That's a blueprint. It's a map. It's a instructional guide for the rightful heir, which is the persona called Heru or Emmanuel biblically, right? To reclaim the father's throne from his wicked uncle. Noble Ali wrote, "Beware your uncle, he'll sell you into slavery." Right? Oh. So the wicked uncle is the symbol for the system that has went astray from the path that the throne is supposed to hold. Right? He ain't wicked in truth, he's wicked in error. So we look at where does the error come in? Because the wisdom is in the error. When you understand what the Freudian slip is for, it's the sudden outburst of truth in the middle of a discussion. Right? So you learn to read the error, and then you can see the wisdom in the error of our ways.
Can you repeat the first part of that again? Because like that, a lot of people might know it, but for real, like that's deep. Because like even in my own mind, I heard it reverberate. It was echoing because you said some real shit with that. Can you repeat that one more time about the Freudian slip?
The Freudian slip is the accidental exposure of the truth in the middle of a discussion. It's a revelation of truth where it shouldn't be. A Freudian slip in psychology, psychiatry mean that you blurted something out that you did not intend to say. You said the quiet part out loud. It's a Freudian slip. The Freudian slip reveals the truth that's concealed.
That's deep. That's real deep. Okay, so now because it's concealing this, it's bringing to the forefront the truth that's concealed, right? So, man, look, let me ask you this, since we're talking about that, because for one, there's a lot of revelations that I feel like took place tonight already, especially when you talk about ancient Kemet and like being